We're back!
We're back! It's, hi everyone.
A little bit later than we had hoped. We're now into February. But for good reason. We have been working on making the show better. We're getting people involved, and we're going to have a really good slate of guests. So it'll be worth the wait, hopefully.
Yeah, and good things come to those who wait. So today...
Yes. We have Eibh Collins and Gareth O'Brien, our first film couple.
We have a wonderful double act. You may know them from their work at the Galway Film Fleadh. Gar is the programmer. He stepped down quite recently, actually. I think it was December. And Eibh has been the shorts programmer for a while now, as well as copious amounts of festivals, not just in Ireland but abroad. So with this one we were just trying to get a kind of unique perspective from a filmmaker's point of view.
From the other side of of filmmaking. So from people who are watching your films and kind of saying yes or no and getting an insight into what you can do to give yourself a better chance to get into festivals.
Apart from write a great piece of work and direct a great piece of work. That's the main one,
obviously,
but just to know, and I suppose to sympathise and understand where they're coming from as well. And it was a really interesting one. And there's just not enough hours in the day for these type of chats. I mean, we could have went on for 20 hours. Yeah.
But it was great to see, they're so passionate about film and they really want to get behind your film. So you need to just make it easier for them. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, they're Jerry Maguires of help me help you.
Yeah, exactly.
Figures of the film festival.
Yeah, so it's good to be back.
It's good to be back, and a special word of thanks to Mick Heffernan, sound producer, in his lovely studio in Portobello. You can go to mickheffernan.com to see how he works and what he's up to, and he's a great bloke, so thanks a million, Mick.
Yeah, and we've got Steve Jackson is going to be mixing for us and helping us with some producing. He's going to be producing us, the new Dutch podcast. Yes, guys. So get in touch, let us know what you think of the podcast. As always, if you have anyone you think should be on the show, let us know. If there's anything we should be doing, let us know.
You can get us on Stitcher, iTunes,
Podcast Addict, SoundCloud,
obviously.
Pretty much any podcast app.
What's our email address? FNI WrapChat at gmail.com if you want to get us directly.
Or leave a comment or review wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah, just another thing as well, Film Network Ireland, we have a screenwriting event coming up next month with Eibh Vision. He's a film scholar from Vienna, and we had him over last year for a day's workshop, and people were really responsive to it.
He's great. He just has a really good way of getting you excited about writing again, and he has a very fun, irreverent kind of style. It's not that kind of stuffy script doctor thing,
No, he makes it fun, and he simplifies processes in a really constructive way. I'd really recommend checking him out. He did a TED talk, so I'll give you a feel of kind of how he operates and what he does. But tickets are available via Eventbrite, and it's a 3-day event over Easter, and tickets are quite affordable considering what you're getting and the time there as well. So check it out.
Yeah. Okay, so the first Wrap Chat of 2018. Here you go.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Rappy Chatty with the Pauls. Paul Butler-Lennox and
myself, Paul Webster. We're here with Eibh Collins and Gareth O'Brien. Yes.
Good save!
Nice! Ooh, jackpot!
Full name is Bartholomew, just so you know. Bartholomew,
I like that.
So thanks very much for coming in, guys.
Thanks for having us.
So you guys are very adept in the
world
of film festivals in Ireland. So
we certainly give that impression.
Yeah. Make it, you make it.
We might start with you and just talk about how you kind of got into working in film festivals first.
Yeah, so I do the shorts for the Fleadh along with a team, and I manage Indie Cork Festival, and then I do Irish Screen America, so I do some of the programming and general organisation management for them and for Irish Film London. So I think that's primary.
That's a lot of
so that's my
festival overload.
Yeah, it is. So they're my my babies. And then I do lots of independent little pop-up stuff, as you know, in different countries. Mostly Irish stuff because I love Irish work and needs to get out there a little bit more. So I do lots of little pop-up events and everywhere from Russia to Malta to anywhere that will take us, basically, which is a lot of work, and that's all just out of the love of it. So I started in the Fleadh like 10 years ago, and I volunteered there, and then I just had loads of free time, so I was like, I'll do whatever. And then they put me in the front desk, and then realised I'd talk to anyone. And just...
Oh, she's a great girl, leave her at the front desk there.
So chatting away, and then would happily, and then not even know who people were, and just, I was saying earlier on, just rip the piss out of people and be really welcoming and be like just, having the crack, and then realise, oh, they wrote Toy Story 3, and you're like, oh, I should probably be nice to you. Yeah. Those kind of experiences. And then just really got into it, and from there, because everybody at the festival would have to come to me to get their registration stuff, I got to know people, and then other festivals were saying are you free in September, come and work for us, and that's kind of where it grew. And then I started
those Harry Redknapp type figures tapping you up from different festivals. She's very nice, Karen.
Yeah, take her.
Wheeling and dealing.
So then I started doing little bits like that, and I'd say to people just find me a sofa to sleep in and pay for my flight, and I'll come and work for you. Cool. And just got a way to travel the world. And then I kind of realised when I started doing that, it was all kind of coordination, random bits. Even just volunteers coordinating random shite. And then I was like, there's just not enough shorts. And then I kind of realised the wealth of the shorts, and I kind of took it for granted that everywhere supported Irish shorts as much as the Fleadh did, because it's kind of what I grew up with. Yeah. All these festivals were popping up and their features were getting screened, and it just didn't make sense why there wasn't more shorts. So then I started saying to people how about I just make a little shorts program for you? We can pop a short before that feature. It's going to cost you nothing, and we'll make it funny, or we'll make it sad. We'll, match it. And then it kind of grew from there to the point now that I get to go to big European short film festivals as an Irish representative, and try to convince them to do retrospective Irish work, or a focus on Ireland, or just these are really good shorts. If you ever need anything from Ireland, you have my email address, come to me. So it's kind of grown from there, so I get to do a lot of that now, which is my favourite part.
Nice. Championing Irish work.
And none of it's paid, and I don't work for any.
I don't need money.
I don't need money. It's fine. It's all pretty much the whatever amount of months I do for the Fleadh, I just save all that money and then live out throughout the year on that, and then come back again. So it's kind of a weird system that I wouldn't recommend for anyone, but it seems to work.
How many Irish shorts do you think you watch a year?
For the Fleadh, there's about I'd say around 500 are entered, and I make a point of watching every single one of them, for better or worse, because
Watch the whole thing.
Some of the ones that are particularly just not for
anybody,
just not for human consumption. Maybe they'll skip through a bit of them, but I'll make a point of watching, because it's Ireland. You're going to meet these people in pubs, and they're like, "Oh, did you see my film?" And I can't lie for shit, so I have to be able to say yes or no and remember them. And another thing is, while you're watching these films, and there's little mistakes that are stopping it from being great, and I find it very important that I go back to the filmmakers and be able to say these things, particularly if it's silly stuff, that keeps cropping up and making these mistakes. So I like to do talks.
Yeah, lads, you need to watch these things.
Exactly.
This is preventable.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's 28 minutes, what do you want me to do with 20 minutes? It's really hard to find space for it. Just go back and have another cut of it and come back to me, or come for your next festival, go and have a look, and little things that I see again and again, and you're shouting at the screen being why the fuck do you keep doing this? Apologies, I cursed.
No,
can you swear on the internet? Is that okay? Okay.
So I get all these mistakes that I keep seeing, and I get really angry at, but nobody's telling people. I can't get mad if nobody's sharing this information. So I make a point of doing as many talks and sharing this stuff as much as I can. So because we're not going to get better unless it's in theory.
Because we were talking about this earlier on, just about length. Is generally of film.
Yes,
boys.
But do you think there's an optimum time for a short?
I think every story has its life, and it's it's important to be true to it. So I'm not going to tell anyone if you have a 40-minute story, you have a 40-minute story. Yeah. But if you don't, you don't. And it's really hard until you're there, and it's the importance that I was saying to the students yesterday. It's the importance of that director, editor, there has to be like a really open communication, because directors can be really precious and they'll just be like, no, that's really important, but to everyone else it's really not. So it's you have to be critical, and it's a total craft of knowing and not knowing what is and isn't necessary. So like in a general term, when it starts getting over 18 minutes, it has to be stronger than other things. So like on a really, maths isn't my thing, but like if you have a 20-minute film, it has to be better than 2 10-minute films. It's really that simple.
To justify that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And as that goes up, if it's 40 minutes, it has to be better than 4 other films. And even if it's 40 minutes, then you have to think in the scope of a programme, it has to be better than 4 other 10-minute shorts, plus the 2 you're going to put it with. It has to outweigh that, because it's going to gobble up the programme. So it's a real like juggling act, that kind of way. Okay. So and a lot of I think more the problem with the longer shorts that we get is just the story doesn't need to be that long. So you're watching like cutaway shot or establishing shots or these ridiculous credit sequence, and you're taking up your time. Like, this is your mistake and your issue. Like, it's not down to the story, but like the waste of space, if that makes sense. Which is
so they're
something
not as economic as they should be.
Yeah, exactly. And there's something we said, like, and I understand that you want to be able to thank your granny in the credit sequence. That's important. Like, and that might be the only reason you're making the film. But then just don't do a ridiculously long opening credit sequence when you're going to show everyone at the end anyway. It's just simple maths.
I want to do a short that's literally just a very long credit sequence, a drone shot, an establishing shot, and then we roll credits.
I can show you 16 of them. Right
So what quantifies a good drone shot?
The absence thereof. No, actually, I saw a good one recently in a trailer for something, and that it kind of inverted it like the start of Evil Dead 2 kind of thing. So they did something you're like, oh, not okay, that was interesting enough, but it's like we know Ireland has trees, lads.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the thing. You just don't need to keep doing it.
It's great.
And like the woods are free, but that doesn't mean every fucking horror film needs to be set in the woods. But it's really true. And then
bring back urban horror.
I think 2016 when we had our selection panel in, we're all watching films, and it came to a certain point that we're like, if there's one more set in the woods and if there's one more drone shot of trees, and do you know what that is? It's not even that it itself, it's like you're too lazy to go and realise that that's what everyone else is fucking doing. You're just not watching films, and then you're like, why are you wasting my time if you're not going to go like
and
go
even
watch
as your piece
films.
is good, it just looks like everything else straight away, and that puts you on a bad footing, I guess.
Or in a weird competitive thing. Everything against trees and woods.
I think that's a big thing. You learn so much from going seeing your own film in festivals, but you have to be going seeing everyone else's as well.
And it's amazing the amount of people that just don't do it. Even to their own and to other. You just have to be present, and it's and then because if you're watching films, you know what's working, what's not working, and what's done. Like there's films of last year that like what do we have? Lily in 2016, which is a great short. Then it went on, and then like last year there was stories of the exact same, like, and you're like,
lads, we know
exactly, and it was like you couldn't have helped, like, because the production team behind Lily were like blasting it and it was everywhere. You couldn't not know about the film unless you're really, really fucking lazy, and that's the problem, and then you're wasting people's time, and it's just you're going up against yourself automatically.
So what, if I can just ask a general question just about shorts, and we'll move on to obviously features as well, Gareth.
Don't bother.
Sure.
I'm happy out.
Sure. What from your perspective, because you watch so many for various different reasons, and there's different criteria of work that's coming in, and, you know, demographics, and there's some sort of reasoning behind why certain films get selected, but what quantifies a good film, and does a good film always get in?
No.
Good question.
That's totally for like the submission, like the programming, never mind the submission, like the programming of particularly within Ireland, and certainly for the FLA, you're up against so much stuff straight away. So you know you're down to simple stuff like the time and the story, but then you have the actor, and because we have a small pool of actors, you have to make sure that that actor isn't in any other film. And for me personally, and I don't know about other programmers, but I take it, I'm not going to make the audience think that John Connors is a dad, and then 2 shorts later that he's like a drug lord. Like, you're just not going to do it. So you have to be very careful of who. And then some people don't do that within programming, and it's a mistake, I think. But you have to be very careful. And then the balance for me, you want to take the audience on a journey, and if that. So you want to like either start really dark and then end lighter, you know, you just whatever you want to do with the program. You can't do that with certain films. It just won't physically fit in. You're like, I just don't know where I can put this film. And there's been really great films last year that we had to cut that were just like, they're just physically, it just didn't make sense. And then after a while, if you're cramming stuff in and you're putting things in for the wrong reason, or if I'm just like not really thinking about the like the curatorial like journey of it all,
the narrative of the
the whole thing, and then the audience and that time and place and everything, then you're just putting them on for the sake of it, and then that's ruining that whole program, that's ruining everyone's experience, and I just find that important. But even like the submission stuff, like for me, your submission is your first introduction or whatever it is to that person, and if it's a lazy submission and it's not complete and your shit isn't together, then automatically you're on the wrong footing. It's the same if you meet someone for the first time in an interview and then they kind of turn up kind of dirty and smelly or late and you're like,
sorry about that again.
Then like it's a weird
palms. I can't do anything about it.
You have a weird experience and automatically you don't whatever. So I think the submission, the whole...
Do you have any kind of, well, I wouldn't say a short list of tips, but you know, is there anything people should bear in mind when submitting for, you know, to film festivals as a, you know?
Yeah, as a whole, like even no matter what it is, whatever your festival is, know where you want your first screening. So if you want your first screening with the FLA, then do your research and realise our deadline closes in May. Then have at least half your shit together to go in May. Like, it's not, like, it doesn't do anyone any favours to rock up after and, you know, oh, here's a link, I forgot to submit it, whatever, or half a submission. It's really easy. Like, having a Facebook page is really easy, having good stills is really easy, and there's no reason why you can't do it. And if you're going to have to do it, you're automatically, again, as I said, you're introducing yourself on and off, whatever.
It's half-baked.
It's half-baked.
You wouldn't need a cake that was half-baked.
No, you wouldn't.
Well, it's like you were saying about, like, even the difference between stills and people just send you a low-res screen grab and it's like, guys, come on.
It's really that easy, and then you're off in a weird kind of... And 99% of my job is after you've watched everything and after you've decided what's going in, it's like the fighting to get the DCPs and fighting to get the ProRes files or like the stills or the blurbs or the whatever. Like that is most of the job. And it's having people who aren't ready for that. Like it's really easy.
It's like, lads, you got in. You don't rest on your laurels. We need you to work as hard now.
100%.
You know.
It's not finished.
It's not finished.
This is point A.
And it's so easy just to pay your whatever £2 to have your Google Drive that has the film and has the stills and has that and whatever, and it's good to go. And then when so maybe whatever the FLA is your first screening, so you're trying to set all that up, but like the people that are easy to communicate with then are the people that when I have to do an event that I'm going to come to, you for example, then you're just like, oh, I have this thing has popped up, and you're like, here's the link, it's done, everything's sorted, don't have to worry, and it's you know, that makes such a difference because as I said, I'm not getting paid for most of the stuff, and why am I going to deal with dickheads that'll take 2 weeks to get back to the email and still like be kind of like right about it, and it's as simple as like then pushing it on their social media, like things like that. You notice, I personally do, I notice every detail, and the people that do like put everything into it and are really excited, and the people that don't, and the people that are excited you want to support further, and the people who are resting on the laurels, and you know, you're like, bye now.
Sorry.
Because you're amazing for championing short films and stuff. But you have to make it. The filmmakers have to make it easy for you
sure.
to do that.
Otherwise, it's just not worth it.
Help
it's just
me,
really,
help
really
you.
Exactly. And like, I'll get emails all the time from random people, and be it big festivals or small, and they're just like, oh, I want, like, it might be an embassy, and they're like, oh, I just need a short, and you're like, grand, done, I have this link, I'll email Paul, and he'll be like, yeah, grand, done, sorted, 2 hours, we're done.
That's you sorted that, Paul.
But it's done. Like Breathe, which was a great short, like 2016-17, and it had a great lifespan, and 100% was down to the fact that every time I emailed James, he came back to me within 15 minutes and he was like, yeah, done, link sorted. And then it came to the point that I was just like Facebooking him and being like, here's an event, and he's like, great, done, I had the link, I had the file, we're done, we're sorted. And it was just really easy. And it's togetherness. And then I know other programmers come to me, so other programmers are definitely going to other programmers, and you're recommending it's a really small, it's a small circuit, and if you're fucking lazy, then nobody's gonna. We're talking to each other, like, and you'll say, and it's the same with features. There's some, particularly like the indie stuff, there's some that you're just like, it's actually just not worth the bother.
Right.
It's really not. And there's some that you'll want to support because they've made such a good effort at it. Yeah. In my opinion. I should finish every sentence
honesty of effort.
Yeah, definitely.
That's fantastic.
We're going to move on to If you could sum up your
your career in like 30 seconds.
It's just starting.
Finishing.
God almighty. I was very lucky. Like a lot of people get, things you can be as good or as interested or capable as you want, but you need luck. And I was up in Galway, about 12, 13 years ago now.
So Cork.
I get very Cork as well when I'm in Dublin. And I was doing a master's in film theory in the Houston Film School after arsing about an arts degree and working in Cork and not having a clue what I want to do. I said, film, that's what I'm passionate about. We're up doing a master's, and a buddy of mine, Liam Burke, who's now, I think, head of media studies in Swinford University in Melbourne, was like, we should probably volunteer for this festival up in Galway. Do you know anything about it? It's like, no, not a bit. We rocked up to volunteer, and they looked at us and said, well, you can write your name. Can you write a press release? And I was like, I can, yeah. Do you have a laptop? I do, yeah. And I sat down, and the first thing I did was Google, how do you write a press release? And I was like, here's one. Yeah, that's grand. Do this one. I'm like, do I work here now? Yeah, we'll pay you Friday. I'm like, okay. So I did kind of press it. I kind of went through the festival, and I guess I'm lucky or cursed to be one of these people who kind of who ends up taking ownership of things. Like, I'll help with that. I'll hold it. I'll do some ushering. I'll do this, that, and the other thing. And we, that first year was just kind of really amazing. I was like, I loved film. I always loved film. I love film academically. I loved it just for my own personal enjoyment. I'd watch anything from a crappy 70s horror movie to art house stuff. And then I kind of, through the flag, got this real sense of the communal nature of film. If you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So I just loved it. Kind of spent the next years working there part-time on everything from like front to house, bit of registration. Not as good as Eibh, obviously. Few are. But like little bits. And then I helped out my predecessor, Phelim. He's a very good programmer there, and he would obviously the amount of submissions you get through, it's very hard to kind of watch them all. So you need most programmers would have like a team of people kind of helping him out and stuff. So I kind of filter out through a few things, and I think my first 1 or 2 years there, something came away, and it was like Between the Canals, I think, and I was like, this is really, really interesting. I've no idea who these guys are. Obviously found out very quickly who they were. I was like, there's something in here. It's rough enough, but and it was a rough cut coming. I was like, this is really good. I kind of want to make a point of going, you have to kind of, give that one a go now.
Yeah.
And I kind of just got such a kick out of that. Like, I like this. I want to champion these guys. You know what I mean?
And it ended up being like a big footprint of what you've left behind is that independent, like little, really independent, like indie work.
Yeah, and that's what I like, because I love, like yourself actually, I've ended up like with a huge passion for Irish cinema in general. But it was something I kind of really liked was these films, you kind of fight for them. They mightn't be perfect, you know what I mean, or anything like this, but you're like, there's an artist at work here, there's loads of artists at work here, and there's something to this, and I want to give them a chance. And the job quickly became like, there's a platform, and you've got a certain amount of gatekeeping responsibility over this platform, and you have to use that responsibly and as generously as you can, I suppose. There's people now whose films are rejected just cursing me listening to this, and they're quite right to do that, because like Eibh was saying, it's so competitive. But I did that, and then when Phelim left, they kind of, I got called up by the indomitable Miriam Allen, who is the Fleadh in a lot of ways, and they wanted a meeting with me, and I was back down in Cork at the time. I was like, what did I do wrong this year? Like, what am I? And they were like, do you want the programmer job? And I was in the middle, I was like just after starting a PhD in film.
Every time I'm out, they pull me back.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, I suppose I can do both these things. No, you fucking can't. So I ended up just kind of focusing on the Fleadh, and I spent the first 2-3 years learning. And kind of learning the landscape of Irish film, learning who everyone was, learning so many things. There was a real learning experience. Like, a lot of it from Miriam, just I'd be talking to a sales agent and I'd be just being kicked under the table, like, shut up about this, It was a really tough job in a lot of ways, a lot of pressure and stuff, and you kind of wear a lot of hats in it. But I was so privileged, because over the last 7 years I got to see virtually every Irish film, feature film, whatever standard, documentary, animation, feature, from the most low budget, not really good piece of work to like an amazing low budget piece of work to like high budget stuff that works or doesn't, and and just get a very privileged overview of the whole Irish film industry, and generally kind of got to love it, and had to make some very, very hard decisions over the years, but it was an amazing experience. It really, really was. Like my first love has always been storytelling and narrative. I've always been interested, even though I mightn't have realised it. And just to get to see Irish stories and Irish storytelling, and I mean that in every sense of the creative process, like storytelling's in everything from set and stuff. But and it just kind of worms its way into you, and you kind of, like Eibh was saying, you get to champion things as well. And it's just been amazing to be kind of like even a peripheral kind of semi-gatekeeper kind of part of this industry. The people you meet, the people whose passion you get to see and come through. And you just want to support that, and like something like the Fleadh always said was like it's a platform. You give someone a platform, you know, nationally and internationally, what have you, and that became like really, really, I think, important to who I was as a person, I think, anyway, and wanting to do your best as possible with that, and you know, while also kind of respecting the institution you have and maybe kind of push certain things here and there.
The idea to reward people for working hard is immensely gratifying, I'd imagine.
It is, like, and again, like you've sometimes, like they're like Eibh as well, like, you know, you've sometimes turned down bad or good films, you know what I mean, and that's horrible. You're like, it just won't work, because like sometimes, like, I have a slot for this, but there's other things here, but I don't. It would actually do your film a disservice. Like, every festival isn't right for every film either.
Exactly. But then the worst thing is, this is my sorry to cut across you.
No, you're not.
No,
don't be silly.
But just on that, like, having to turn down good stuff, like we have our no day, and like we make sure that it's send out your no emails, and then it's like go for a pint, because we know awful. That there's films that you want, like, it's not like we're like meh, fuck your weekends, like we're like it like it proper hurts us, like, and there's so much stuff, and there's people and friends, and there's all of this thing that you're saying no to, and then when you get someone who attacks you for it.
And you can understand that, like,
you can, but like, you're a professional.
It's not open for debate.
No,
it's like you've given a red card. The referee's not going to change it. There's no VAR in film festivals.
There's just, you know, and there's for different reasons. And like, part of the thing of the Fleadh, and it was one of the first things that I was kind of taught there, was like, you can't actually give people a reason, because there's hundreds, and then you're opening up this, and then I was like, I don't know, I like people, I'll start to whatever, and then I've had people who like or Facebook me or Twitter or get my personal Gmail, whatever it is, and they'll email back and be like, some people be really nice to be like, totally understand, and it's those people that come back and like, totally understand, thanks so much, appreciate you watching it, hopefully we'll talk in the future, and I'm like, I like you, I want to make sure your film goes on somewhere else. It is really that easy. And then some people come back and they're
just
like,
empathy, basically.
But some people come back with foul things to say, like, or like one, like, you didn't even fucking watch it, you're just chancing, you're stealing my money, whatever, or fuck
what
you.
Is it, €10, €20? Comparatively to other festivals, it's not that expensive.
Exactly.
Or it's the one that you see a lot as well, is just like, I'm sure my film is better than any other one in there.
That's the one that people who email and said like, I know it was better than anything you screened last year.
My children never get headlines.
But these people and they just be really aggressive, and I'm sitting there and like, I'm doing all this for the love of it, and then you have people who are just absolute dicks. And to anyone out there, we literally listen to every single watch every single film, and it's like, for me personally, I can't talk for everyone else, so it's really hurtful when people are rude about it, and don't think that we don't tell other programmers and it doesn't get around. The one that came back, I saw there was someone tried to start up like an Irish film whistleblower tweet or Twitter account. The funniest thing I've ever seen.
From inside the festival.
It was like, I've done this. It was just like, a programmer's only traditionally watched 10 minutes. You can check this on your Vimeo. I'm like, if I knew I could do that, I still wouldn't have, frankly, but it was just... Because you're answering to these people, and I like to help. It's just, that's always the worst when people are really rude back. I did some pre-screening for South by Southwest this year, so you're watching like loads of films for them, and they go on to the next. If I like, there's a yes and no, so they go up and down and everything. So there's so many people going behind your film, and it's the same for the Fleadh. Like, we have a panel of people who watch stuff, because they'll find different. Like, some of them are cinematographers, so they'll find a reason to like. It might not be the best story, but it's shot so well. Okay, maybe that's not right, but there's like a certain level of like beginning of a craft there, and there's something. And then sometimes I'm like, some of the other people watch it, but like, I just don't get it, and I'm like, as a 20-something female, like, I really get that, and I'll put my weight behind it. Or, but yes, we watch everything, and it hurts when you say we don't.
I'm sure it does.
I've seen things, man.
It's a lot of
like Rutger Hauer at the end of Blade Runner.
On a positive note, do you have any like kind of favourite moments from the programming point of view? I have a bit of fear over the Saturday of the Fleadh last year, because I was introducing it, and I actually got emotional for the programme, because there's a few of my favourites in there, and then it was the finish, the end of like for the dramas, and I put so much love and work into the films, and then the filmmakers, and then we see something we like, and I personally will go back and be like, have you ever tried this, or maybe it should be a little bit shorter here, and give them some notes, and you're on this creative like path with people, and you're emailing people so much and you're getting these relationships and you start to really like people and you have good crack and you're really excited about seeing them and you're excited because you know that like their family's going to be there and all of this, and I get really really invested in it really fast, and these people, and I consider them like my shorts, like I really do.
So you wouldn't take the kind of Robert De Niro and Heat type of thing, like if you see the Heat coming around the corner you won't get attached and just
no,
bum.
I'm always attached. I'm attached to all of them. I really am, and I love them, and I just like I kind
Your
of
babies.
They are my babies. And then I got up on a Saturday and someone was like, "You're such a fucking sap," and I was like, "But like, it's a journey for these people, and I'm only coming at the very end, and it's really nice to be able to help these people on their journey, and then it's really lovely when people like when Graham Cantwell won Lily and he like gave a mention when he got his award to say thanks like for your support, and I'm like because you give so much and then you get so much aggression back from people who you've said no to, so then when people support you back, and the same with Wave this year, I watched and I fucking loved it, and I was just like, I just want everyone to see this right now. I want it out.
That's the feeling you want. That's like the heroine you chase, the dragon.
And then I was like, I watched it so many times, and like, and there's still people and like even our
kids going off to college type thing.
Yeah, and you just really want to unleash it, and you're really excited, and you're like, this is what you're fighting for. And then when it gets to go into the big stage, and you know they're there and they're excited and their family, like every time. And then when they acknowledge that, when it's like with an award or with the thanks or with the follow up email, or like I'm not a robot. All of these things like really make a big difference. And I am, as you said, a big sap, so I get really attached really quickly, and I get attached to the ones you have to say no to. That's part of the reason why I do the independent kind of smaller stuff, is because those ones that maybe just weren't at the right level for the Fleadh or weren't ready, but there was something in them. You're able to support them differently, and get them other screenings and places. So
give them a run.
Give them a run and give them a chance. Or if it doesn't work, to be able to get back to, hope some of them I try to get back to separately, like later on in the year, and just say like, I really liked it, but this or but that. Or you see them come through and like Irish Film America, Irish Film London, you start seeing them come through again. You're like, I wasn't able to support you then, but you've gone and made an effort, and I will support you now, hopefully. So that's kind of a highlight, is all of them, getting them on the screen, and every time I'm so excited for everyone, and I'm so excited to listen to the laughs, and I'll sit in on every film and be running up to projection to make sure that it you know it's its best self on that screen in that time and place, and it really means a lot to me. And then to see everyone coming out, and I'm really socially awkward, so like I'm standing outside and I'm like emailing these people, and then you're like standing outside, you're like, I'm so proud of you, but like you're 10 years older than me, and I'm proud, like you're just like well done,
giving you a little pat on the head and just wiping their face with your thumb and
you're done so well.
There you go.
But it's true, so I get really attached, and I don't know if other people do as much as I do, but I just really love my job, so I just really love being able to help and support people. I just want everyone to be happy.
Why can't everybody just get along?
Yeah.
And Gary, I'm sure you've got a lot.
I do, yeah. Again, a lot
meeting
of
me.
Meeting Brian, is it?
Brian,
Eibh, sorry. Yeah, that's definitely a highlight, because it is kind of a niche industry. Our job as well, in that, like, and obviously we work in very different worked in very different sides of it, but to have someone you can actually try and explain this to, because my parents are like, what are you doing still? Like, they came to the Fleadh every year I was working there, like, well, what do you do? Like, for me, best moments would be, again, it would all come back to the idea of cinema as a communal experience and providing a festival experience, and one standout would have been Good Vibrations. A screening of that was like being at a rock concert or social motion. Terry Hooley went out crying at one point. So it's like, I think my dad was that, or someone I know was just like, I don't think they'd ever heard Teenage Kicks, and the bit was played, you see a fist bump in the audience, and you just see it, whatever the film and the platform you're giving, and seeing something go on then that gets a sales agent and stuff like that's amazing. But just seeing humans have feelings about a thing someone made for people to have feelings to, and I know that sounds sappy again. And then you see it on screen and people are responding to it as well as you did. But then you meet
the filmmakers, and then you're like, oh, these are fantastic people.
They're amazing people.
And then you get behind, then you get behind them, and it's like, then it's their journey, and then you see to go to other festivals and just the life. Like.
Yeah, I think for me it would be something like that as well. And then, like, as you were saying, kind of like it's your baby, you're alluding to there, like, I think it was Phelan said to me years back that there's like a various kind of stages of film ownership. It's the writer's film, then it's the producer's film, then it's the director's film, then it's the sales agent's for the director. There's a little tiny part where it's a programmer's film, and I own that fucking film. You don't, obviously, and no one else involved in the film will believe you. But you feel it's yours, and kind of responsible.
Particularly if it's like when you find a film as well.
That's the sweet spot.
You know, like there's big directors you're looking out for, and that's great. But then when you find a film and you're like, oh, this is going to be good, and like nobody's seeing this one coming, and then you're like really excited.
Yeah.
That might be just me.
And then the opposite street, then you find something really amazing and people respond to it and it goes nowhere, and it's a bit But that's the nature
You
of the
should really
beast.
see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's I mean things like that was amazing. Like again, like I keep coming back to this idea of like filming a communal experience, and like that's what the Fleadh taught me was just like people. Like I mean, I hated when people came out of a film I put on and said that was alright. I loved if someone hated it and someone else really liked it and they were having an argument. Like which is why
Charlie Casanova style.
Charlie Casanova, my first year, I was because I watched it, I was like, I hate this. I had a cigarette, came back in, put it on again. I was like, I think this might be brilliant. Had a cigarette, watching it. I was like, I don't know. Wait, that seems useful.
Yeah.
So, and I remember like putting on that screening. It was great because like you could almost see the division down the room, and like I mean, it is still a divisive film. It's divisive to me, but I love that. Like I really, really love that. You know, and you know, think experiences like that are really amazing.
And meeting loads of people like. I grew up in Uachtarard, so like outside of the city with like a little town where it's mostly Ga or farming, and then you meet these people and you're like, oh my god, there's like people that like film or people that like I just like organising. There's people who like organising and like being in this atmosphere, and that was like, what the fuck, like that's so different and cool, and you make all these friends that are the same, that are also doing it for the love of it for some weird fucking reason.
Because they're masochists on some level, I think.
Yeah.
You have to be, cool. That's a good place to leave it, I think.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us.